in oil and gas production. But federal officials say the designation is justified by steep decline in the bird's population. As Lauren Seabrook reports, the dispute is already putting a halt to some oil rigs in Kansas.
Cries from wildlife activists have been heard, and these birds are now protected by the federal government.
Nobody wants to be the first guy that gets, sensationalized for running over a prairie chicken latch.
That fear has oil drilling at many rigs across southwest Kansas on hold.
It's hard to explain to somebody out in rural Kansas, southwest Kansas, that, we're going to have to delay this well for a couple weeks because the oil company has to study whether the prairie chicken latch is in existence and what the habitat is.
Tim Sanders with Tomcat Drilling says work on a rig typically goes 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in Kansas, and it employs hundreds of people. But if that drilling continues in an endangered area, companies face penalties ranging from $25,000 to $50,000 and jail time.
And I don't expect the prairie chicken to compromise, but we're all compromising here to, get the numbers up. And at the end of the day, who's going to, the bigger impact is going to be on just people who are paid by the hour who work really, really hard.
Sanders says about 15 people work on a drill, and he says if you consider each worker is married with about 2 kids, then multiply that by about 50 rigs in the endangered area, that's 3,000 people affected.
You look at all the factors affecting the economy right now, and we're going to let a prairie chicken affect one aspect of what Kansas does very well, and that's produce oil and gas.
In response to the new federal law, Kansas passed a state law that allows the AG or a county prosecutor to file lawsuits against the conservation efforts. Sanders says that'll help, but his company's first priority is to be compliant.
Now that the law is here, the impact is going to have a devastating effect, whether it's 1 week or if it's, the next 3 years.
Kansas Republican Tim Huelskamp says he's working with other members of Congress on proposals to cut the budget of the Fish and Wildlife Service. Now, he says the goal is to get the agency to back off its decision to list the lesser prairie chicken as threatened. Here's a look at 4 state market prices.